The Office for Student Affairs forced takedown of a photo uploaded by student-led media organization Tomasino Web in February.
Today I will take accountability for everything.
She may not like the content of my answer, but I am answering.
Putang ina ninyong lahat!
I'm honored to be here tonight. It's my first time in the Philippines!
Baguio!
Mahal na mahal ka namin lahat.
Hello and welcome to my 2024 year-end special. So in this program, we will look back on what happened in 2024. Ba't sasabihin ko what will happen? Kasi tapos na ang 2024. At first, hindi ako gagawa ng isang year-end special kasi nga busy na nga lola niya sa work niya. Pero to think that special itong taon sa akin, kailangan ko gawin ito because not only I achieved some important life events in my life ngayon 2024, pero ang dami din mahalagang events na nangyari sa society. So ngayon, nandito ako sa bahay ngayon to tackle the program, and later on, mamaya lalabas tayo sa Nagoya and sa Tokyo. Tour ko kayo around here habang dinidiscuss ko yung events ko sa live when we watch mamaya sa 21 concert comeback. And also in this year's special year-end special, hindi lang buhay ko ang re-recall natin. We will look back to all happenings, sabi ko na sa iyo, in society where there is a political, mga viral sa TikTok, or any popular culture happenings na nangyari ngayon 2025. Lahat, babalikan natin yan based on my research. Wow, nag-research talagang lola yun dito sa special program nito. Actually, it was hard to formulate this kind of year-ender program kasi you need to recall talaga month by month kung ano yung naging viral sa society, sa happenings sa around surroundings. Kaya, so far, this program will divide into 4 distinct parts. The first part will be current events, political events, popular culture, happenings between January to June 2024, and the second part will be the July to December. And the third part, syempre, buhay happenings ko na during January to September, and the fourth part will be the October to December, and also the vlog nung nag-21 comeback concert ako. So without further ado, balikan ulit ang mahalagang nangyari. Ngayong 2024. Yes, New Year, may trahedya na nangyari sa Japan. On January 1st, 2024, Ishikawa Prefecture experienced a magnitude 7.6 of earthquake with a tsunami height of 7.45 meters. This is one of the deadliest earthquake of Japan since the infamous March 11 Tohoku earthquake. I know from the beginning that Japan is an earthquake-prone country, kagaya sa Philippines. But the earthquake in New Year's Day, that is pretty scary. Since kakastart lang ng taon, may kalamidad na agad na nangyari. You might be asking how my parents since nasa Pinas ako finishing my course. Well, ang sabi nila sa akin, nararamdaman nila yung lindol. The quick earthquake alert sa phones nila is the savior kasi since nakalabas sila ng bahay before the shaking starts. Nagising pa na nga daw yung nanay ko kasi natutulog daw siya at that time kasi hapon nangyari yung lindol. Pero this one is the scariest thing happened in 2024, diba? Like, all of the people here on the earth wishing that we have a good 2024 na sana good health lahat. Pati yung family natin, dapat good health lahat. We're hopeful that day kasi New Year's Day, diba? Tapos, bigla ka na lang makakarinig ng ganong earthquake news dito sa Japan. Like, siyempre nag-alala din ako. Pero after that day, kinabukasan, may trahedya na naman nangyari. Ngayon naman, sa Haneda Airport nangyari. On January 2, 2024, a runway collision occurred at Haneda Airport in Tokyo, involving an Airbus A350-900 operated by Japan Airlines and the De Havilland Canada-8 Q300 operated by the Japanese Coast Guard. Japan Airlines was a scheduled domestic passenger flight from New Chitose Airport to Haneda Airport, while the Japanese Coast Guard plane was scheduled to deliver relief supplies after the 2024 Noto earthquake. After hearing this news na magkakasunod, like sabi ko, oh my God, we were having a rough start this 2024, huh? This is the first whole loss ng A350 aircraft, and that tiny plane na nabangga niya ng Japanese Airlines is the one who would be flying to Ishikawa for relief supplies sa earthquake, nung earthquake kahapon noon. And sadly, only one of the 6 occupants on the tiny plane survived the incident. Hi! Pero the most important thing is that Japan Airlines passengers survived the runway collision. All of them. Syempre, in every aviation incident talaga, we avoid a large number of casualties, and I salute Japanese Airlines on their safety instructions. They instructed the passengers that they should not bring their bags and luggages with them, the hand carry. Diretso evacuate na sila ng plane kasi kung kukunin mo pa yung mga hand carry mo doon sa overhead bin, lalo matatagal yung evacuation. Siguro natutunan rin sila sa mga past incident nila, lalo na yung flight 123 incident nila, famous yun. So, unang 2 araw ng 2024, grabe bad start na agad sa Japan. Hi! Calamities and accidents do happen talaga. Wala tayong magagawa kundi mag-pray na lang.
CNN Philippines is shutting down operations on Wednesday due to its massive financial losses. An analyst considers this a huge blow to the country's media landscape. Jackie Pascual reports.
Yes, another important news company closed in the Philippines. CNN Philippines bids goodbye on January 31st, 2024. More than 300 jobs were lost at that time. And hindi lang jobs na nawala during that time, but also the reliable truth checker has been lost. Yun na hindi talaga mapapalitan ng news company ng mga fake news peddler na nakikita nyo sa Facebook and TikTok. Hindi talaga. True journalism is what the Filipino needs in the time of lies around the government. Bakit ba may course sa aming college na journalism kung ang paniniwala lang naman ng mga tao, mga fake news peddlers sa social media, di ba? Like, just ko hindi ko na nga kinaya yung yung pagsara ng ABS noon, ito pa kaya nung pagsasara ng CNN Philippines. That day is a sad day for every journalist in the Philippines. The world of social media kills a reliable news company that serves the truth to the Filipino people. Siguro that closure serves as a warning to the Filipinos Kasi that we should be meticulous on what we believe in the world of social media. And that's my recap this January 2024. Grabe, the first 3 events talaga hindi ko na kinaya. Like, abot na hanggang Esophagus yung masasamang nangyari ngayong January agad.
1. Esophagus. Habang tayo'y kumakain sa hapagkainan.
Pero ngayon, let's move on to February.
China claims actions by the Philippines compel Beijing to assert its sovereignty in the Scarborough Shoal.
2024 na, China is still bullying us for entering our exclusive economic zone of the West Philippine Sea. I know ang tagal na ng problema nito during the Aquino admin, pero grabe, after Duterte left us with nothing, lalo naging aggressive yung atake ng China sa atin. Like, ngayon lang ulit nag-escalate yung issue due to Duterte's ties with China noon. Talagang tuta talaga siya ng China, Diyos ko po. Wala talaga siyang ginawang tama sa bansa natin during his presidency. We will give credit where credit is due naman, pero BBM's stance about the issue is more firm than previous admin. Hindi ko masasabi na, wow, ang galing ni BBM. Putang ina, ikaw na yung magaling na presidente sa buong Pilipinas. Pero hindi ko maganon siya kasi sinungaling siya sabi ni Lenny At hindi nagpapakita in the most difficult time, sabi niya, di ba? We as a campaign, we will give credit on what is due naman. We stand on that stance na kailangan natin angkinin yun kasi nasa exclusive economic zone natin siya. Akala nyo ang ganda ng UST as a university, So nakita nyo yung last program ko sa when we all graduate, where do we go, ha? Pero ang dami niyang dark sides, like this one. That simple photo report, our transition to Type B uniform, sparks controversy sa Office of the Student Affairs sa UST. For me, there's nothing wrong in that photo. If we look that photo in a literal sense, it is just a CICS student wearing their Type B uniform entering 7-Eleven to buy some food, diba? I know that uniform is similar to the uniform sa 7-Eleven, pero bakit kailangan pa rin i-censor siya since there's nothing wrong with it? To make matters worse, that censorship resulted in Tomasino Web's advisor resigning from his duties. This brings a lot of reputable news organization in the country to report in this kind of censorship. Diyos ko, tangina, wala na nga tayo sa martial law, pero limited pa rin yung mga galaw natin. Parang love and hate lang ang relationship ko sa UST, just like jowa ko. Wow, may jowa ka. Pero OSA, don't be OA about these things. Diyos ko, 2024 na, pero ang mindset nyo pang 16-11 pa rin, gano'n? There's nothing wrong with that fucking photo. Kami nga, nagre-reklamo nga sa Type A namin sa AB na mukha kaming grade school student Naalala ko si Roby ngayon nung Type A siya, mukha siyang grade school student. Parang yung 3 core values na commitment, competence, and compassion ng UST nagiging clamp down censorship sa close-mindedness Pero as an abiding citizen of this world and also a UST lit graduate, just like readings that we examined, we should be critically aware of these incidents and the reaction that may elicit because they hold the mirror on what the society that we live.
Now to breaking news in our nation's capital, the U.S. House of Representatives has passed a bill that would ban TikTok in the U.S. unless its Chinese parent company sells the social media platform.
We have known this issue for a very long time that TikTok could face a complete ban in the United States. However, I think this should be scrutinized completely because TikTok is a major business income for most people na Hindi na siya yung completely based on entertainment alone. Nagiging Shopee at Lazada na siya through TikTok Shop. Live streaming, doon din kumikita mga creators natin through gifts. Alam natin na it is easy to post and get viral sa TikTok. But the US is paranoid that they might be having a security risk to their nation due to it was owned by a Chinese government. Ay, not Chinese government pala, a Chinese company. Also, may licensing issues din noon ang UMG and TikTok. This year lang ata yon na UMG labels remove all of their musics sa TikTok, including Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, lahat na ng mga famous artists na kilala nyo. Pero na-resolve din naman ata nung April. Yung copyright issues na yun. Speaking of music copyright issues, Shira's Bangsamoro pop music Celos was viral in the Philippines. Pati ako na LSS na dito sa kantang to kasi yung lola ko sa ate ko doon sa probinsya ito yung lagi pinapatugtog na noong 1 month na pure online classes lang kami. This song was released 2023 pa. Pero March 2024 siya naging viral. Some listeners stated that the song is similar to Trouble is a Friend by Lenka. Kaya nagka-legal issues yung label that forces them to pull out that song sa mga most major streaming apps. Pero they reach out to Lenka naman to resolve that copyright issue. And na-resolve naman, bumalik naman sa Spotify yung kantang yun.
And the Oscar goes to Cillian Murphy.
And of course, the annual Academy Awards. Oppenheimer wins Best Picture while Cillian Murphy wins Best Actor. Also, pangalawang Best Actress award na ni Emma Stone. To like, wow! Galing yung actress ha. This Oscar din kasi nakakagulat. Kasi it is the first Oscar win ni Robert Downey Jr. Like, hindi pa rin siya pala nakaka-Oscar? Nagulat ako ng first award niya to. Akala ko nanalo na siya before in the past. Pero I think Academy is strict about giving awards to the films that is more defined as a fine art rather than a box office success. Speaking of fine art, Barbie movie did not even have nominations for the major categories sa Oscars. Like, what the fuck? It was a movie of the year last year. Tapos, walang Oscar nomination. Not Best Picture sa movie, Best Actress kay Margot Robbie. Wala. Si Billie Eilish lang nanalo doon na original song. Yun lang, that's the win of Barbie. Like, grabe, misogyny ba rin talaga nasa US, no? So, that's the month of March. On to the April.
Transport regulators urge the remaining holdouts of the jeepney modernization program in the Philippines to avail of their final chance to comply with a franchise consolidation requirement by April 30th. Johnson Manabat
On
reports.
April 30, 2024, ito na yung pinakahuling deadline to consolidate their jeepneys. Because of these consolidation shits ng gobyerno natin, nahihirapan kaming commuters to commute to work or from school to work. This suspension leads to a week-long suspension of classes and some of my classes are shifted to online. Like, anong silbi ng consideration eme nila na lalong pinahihirapan yung mga jeepney drivers sa yung mga commuters eh. Wala nang ginawang tama itong gobyerno natin kundi pahirap sa mamamayang Pilipino. Yes, I get it that it's part of the PUV modernization program, eme nila. Pero instead na pahirapan ng mga tsuper ng jeepney, why do you need to fix or modernize something that is already been working for decades? Diba? Like, mahirapan kami mag-commute kasi majority ng commuting natin sa Pilipinas, jeepney pa rin, diba? Saka I dream na may sophisticated train system na tayo sa Pilipinas na will eventually be our major form of commuting. Dito nga, they rely on trains on their everyday commute I wish in the next 15 years o bago ako magbakasyon dyan, siguro lumawak na mga train lines natin, Diyos ko.
I was supposed to be sent away, but they forgot to come and get me.
Taylor Swift strikes again into the scene this April when the Tortured Poets Department released. It surpassed her previous records on her Midnights album regarding sales and streaming. Parang this album is one of the unique albums of Taylor since it is just like Midnights and Folkmore having a baby. Ito yon. It is an alternative in a way na synth-pop din siya. Nirelease niya ito during my thesis defense pa. Like, yes, talagang nung lunch break talaga ng thesis defense namin, nakikinig yung trilit sa buong album. Then, during the afternoon session, nabigla kami kasi double album pala siya. Like, meron siyang The Anthology na nirelease. Like, sabi ko, dahan-dahan lang, Taylor, nasa thesis defense pa ako. Grabe. Magre-release ka ng double album, hindi pa nga tapos yung thesis defense namin. Like, gano'n, sabi ko noon. Like, sabi namin talaga noon, ay talagang broken siya sa relationship niya with Joe noon. Like, grabe. At first listen, it is pretty astonishing. Like, I was intrigued how she spit out all of those lyrics into this fucking album. Like, siguro it is indeed one of the best breakup album si Taylor, I guess. Breakup album kaya itong Tortured Poets. Iba siya sa Red kasi yung Red country genre siya, diba? Malapit na siya maging Adele vibes dito sa album na to. Merong sign ng kanta yun. Ewan ko kung anong track yun, pero ang ganda ng album na to talaga. It is one of the best album of Taylor Swift yet. Kung irarank ko siya, mga nasa top 5, top 4 siya. Yon. So that's the Tortured Poets Department. The Pinoy girl group BINI has taken a new height of popularity. Their song Pantropico is perfectly aligned with the summer heat wave last April. Dito din nagsimula na LSS ako sa mga songs ng BINI kasi it defined what Filipino bubblegum pop is. Yes, I know na may halong twice siya, pero the Filipino essence to it was there. Dahil sa BINI, nakalimutan na natin ang mga comebacks ng iba't ibang 4th gen K-pop groups and also stream non-stop tayo ng Spotify yung mga past discography nila. Like, and for the first time, BINI is the first OPM artist to reach top 1 artist on Spotify Philippines. Like, kabog, diba? Diba ganon? Like, grabe. Kahit na nag-release si Taylor ng Tortured Poets Department last April, top 1 pa rin sila sa Spotify. Like, this is huge for them, lalo na ngayon 2024 na nag-bloom ang kanilang mga careers, diba? And their song is highly fucking relatable to teenagers out there. Like, and also mga majority ng kanta nila is featured on my When We All Graduate, Where Do We Go program, diba? Like, lalo na yung part na I question some of my blocks, kung ano yung plans nila after grad, while playing Carrera by BINI on the background. It is important part. It is the important part on that part. Kasi doon galing yung gusto kong iparating sa program na yun. Yung saan sila after graduation. Talagang special sa akin ang mga kanta nila ng BINI. Special talaga sa akin. Lalo na yung nagsesenti mood ako lagi sa wag muna tayong umuwi. Noong nung patapos na yung Manila era ko. Like, kasi may part ako sa sarili ko na ayaw kong umuwi ng Japan. Ayaw kong pumunta dito. Wag muna tayo umuwi. Ganon. Kasi alam ko may naiwan akong isasabihin sa kanya eh. Uy! Sasabihin, ano yun? Char, pero yun na nga, congrats BINI on your success and I wish this 2025 mag full album na talaga kayo, ma'am, o full EP para masustain pa rin yung popularity nyo sa Philippines. It's 2024 and another historic event in Philippine television. ABS-CBN Studios, It's Showtime now airs on GMA7. Like last year kasi, nasa sister channel lang sila na GTV, diba? Ngayon, nasa main channel sila ng GMA. Like, it is monumental kasi wala nang war between the two network giants. I predicted this one sa Dump Twitter ko last year na alam ko test run lang sila doon sa sister channel na GTV. After ma-terminate o ma-expire na yung contract ni Tape sa GMA, lilipat na ang Showtime doon sa main channel. And guess what? Tama nga ako. Galing ko rin mag-predict ng things. So, I love how GMA now helps ABS to reach wider audience. Kasi, hindi na sila network eh. Ano na lang eh, ABS is a content provider na lang eh. Since the shutdown. So, that's April 2024. And so, pang daming euphoric events. Anong euphoric? na nangyari. And also nga pala, April 2024 is the month na nirelease yung keratin ad ni Maha na paulit-ulit na keratin, may plus, paulit-ulit na lang yung sinasabi yung kapag may malalim na English word kang sasabihin eh. Diyos ko, gamit na gamit yan sa last program ko. So, on to the May 2024.
About your childhood. Your Honor, lumaki po ako sa farm. Which farm? Which farm it was? But
2024 is also a year of mystery. Alice Go, aka Guo Haping, the former mayor of Banban, Tarlac, is facing several accusations, including involvement in the illegal pogo activities, human trafficking, and being a Chinese spy. These allegations came into light in May 2024 when Senator Risa Hontiveros revealed Go's business associates were involved in a large-scale money laundering case in Singapore. Although Go has denied all accusations and provided personal details about herself to refute them. Also, concern aroused about Alice Go's birth certificate and citizenship status, the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA recommended the cancellation of her birth certificate due to irregularities in her late birth registration. Senator Risa Hontiveros questions the legitimacy of her citizenship, suggesting that her late registration was fraudulent due to lacking of support documents. These issues raise doubts about Go's true identity and her eligibility to hold public office in the Philippines. This is where na-shock ako talaga na may nakakalusok ng ganitong tao. Like, hindi legitimate na Filipino citizen, pero nakakatakbo ng public office. Like, tas sangkot pa siya sa mga iba't ibang illegal pogo and money laundering cases. Like, at this point, nung hearing ni Alice Go, parang nawalan ako ng tiwala sa mga public officials natin eh. Childhood mo, makakalimutan mo, alam mo kung saan ka lumaki. Oh my God! Teka, bakit ako nagiging Risa Hontiveros? With all that shits na iniwan ng previous government and also the POGO approval, nangamba yung mga Pinoy sa seguridad ng ating bansa. Ito yung time na nagiging Netflix series yung mga Senate hearing ni Alice Go. Like, pati si ate ginagawa yung radyo yung Senate hearing. And also may sinasabi siya sa akin na, ay, nakakatakot na kasi dumadami na yung mga Chinese at mga pogo hubs sa Philippines. Like, yes, as a Filipino citizen, you should be worried about our national safety, di ba? Kasi bansa natin to, dapat diba protektahan natin. A Chinese that turn into a fake Filipino na tumakbo ng public office serve as a bigger picture that how awful our country is. And Alice Go is a real threat to our public security. Bulacan! Also in May 2024, Miss Universe Philippines 2024 was held in MOA Arena and succeeding Michelle D was Chelsea Manalo from Bulacan! Sa fun naman tayo. During Miss Universe Philippines, ang daming memes na kumalat. Like, 2 days coronation nights kasi nag-spill over na siya on another day. Sobrang daming commercial daw than the competition itself. Like, kapag sasabihin na we will be back after a short break, sasabihin, short break? 10 minutes yung commercial nyo every break, ganun. Saka natawanan, tawang-tawa talaga ako nung pinasa ni MMD yung crown kay Miss Bulacan. Na, ang galing niya mag-balance ng crown. Like, hindi gumalaw si Akla for a minute dahil mahuhulog yung crown pag gumalaw siya. And also, the one and only Alden Richards na sobrang exage mag-announce ng candidates na Bulacan! Baguio! Ganun mga ganun. Every time na may Miss U Philippines na competition talaga sa atin, dino-dog show yung show. Kumakalat ng memes from left to right, grabe talaga. So that's the month of May. On to my birth month.
Earlier today, June 19, 2024, I sought an audience with the President and tendered my resignation as the Secretary of Education effective July 19, 2024.
Philippine Vice President Sara Duterte stepped down from her cabinet as a DepEd Secretary. This move wasn't a surprise as her relationship with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. was expected to end. From the very start pa lang talaga na 2022 elections na alam ko hindi maglala sa mga unit team nila BBM at Sara. Dahil na I know na it was only a political interest between the two to defend Lenny. I think the reason is that sobrang daming abnormalities sa education department. Like yung 150 million pesos na confidential funds niya sa DepEd. Like, putang ina, saan napunta yun? Like, in the span of, ilang days? Isang araw lang? Oh my God, nawala agad. Like, grabe yung corruption na ginagawa niya. Kaya dapat lang nag-resign siya kasi wala na siyang ginawang maganda. Tandaan natin sa politics na walang kaibigan. Only devil tactics talaga to remain in power. Like, for example, tatakbo ulit si Isko Moreno for Manila Mayor next elections. Ito ang nangyari, Mayor Lacuna feel the betrayal kasi magkasundo sila noon eh. She is running for mayor at that time, tapos kinandidato ni Isko, tapos magkakaaway na sila ngayon. Like, oh my God, like it was fun para sa kakamping wala ng unity, and I think papunta pa lang tayo sa exciting part. So, that is June of 2024. Oh my God, isa lang yung na-search ko. Oh my God, ganon. Wala na nangyari nung June 2024 kasi hindi ko alam. Pero marami pa next month, July, after this commercial break. So, after this commercial break, July 2024 na tayo. Pero hindi ko talaga expect talaga ito. Like, it makes me wanna go watch talaga. So, nandito tayo sa Tagata Jinja Shrine, kung saan may makikita kayong weird.